Yo, good morning, everybody. Or afternoon, I guess. I just woke up kind of an hour ago, so morning. Hello, yeah, I'm Xoneris, and it's time to go down memory lane. Because the last time I speedrun this game, Metroid Fusion, was at SpeedCon 2018. Yeah, 2018. And yeah, since then I've never done it again at the speedrun marathon, so this is pretty exciting. And yeah, let's jump right into it. How does this work again? No. There we go. Alright, let's just jump right into it. I have a special save here to skip the intro, the 6-minute intro. Nobody wants to see that. Alright, let's start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Hell yeah! Okay, who's ready for some Metroid Fusion 100% action? So, this is Metroid Fusion. This is the 4th game in the Metroid franchise. Right after Super Metroid. I mean, technically it could be the 5th one because Metroid Fusion and Metroid Prime released at the exact same time. But in the title of this game it says Metroid 4, so... Okay. Good start. So yeah, I'll be playing 100%. That means I'll be collecting everything that can be collected in this game. All missile tanks, all energy tanks, all not super missiles, all power bombs, and every upgrade, defeating every boss, and not fully revealing the entire map, but most of the map. And yeah, I've been doing 2 practice runs yesterday, because I haven't played this game in a while, as you can imagine, since I haven't had a marathon run of this in, what now, 4 years? So I'm very glad this got accepted, because fun fact, this is the first speedrun that I ever learned. So a bit of nostalgia here for me. So, but you might be wondering, what's happening in this game? Like, for a Metroid game, there's a lot of story happening here. So basically, in the 6-minute intro that we skipped with the save file, we basically got, you see one of these thingies, the X-Parasite. Samus Aran, the main protagonist here, got infected by one of these X-Parasites on a research mission. And she was very close to dying. But with the help of some Metroid DNA, she survived. Because the Metroids are the natural enemies of these X-Parasites. This ties in back to Metroid 2. The story of Metroid 2 was Samus goes to the home planet of the Metroids and eradicates all of them. And because there were no Metroids left on the planet, the X-Parasite had no more enemies on the planet and spread. And yeah, so Samus got infected, and with the help of the Metroid DNA, she could recover. And now that we have some Metroid DNA inside of us, we are able to absorb these X-Parasites. So gameplay-wise, the X-Parasites in this game are these floating orange and green, I don't know, wobblies. And we can collect them for health and rocket pickups. There's also a red one, which just fills up everything. There will also be blue ones, but they're story related. Because of the X infection, we lost a big chunk of our armor, or lost a lot of our abilities. That's the explanation why you start another Metroid game with, oops, that's not what I wanted, with none of your abilities. So we, in this game as well, have to slowly but surely recollect all of our cool stuff. And starting with the missiles. So all over this space station here, we're inside a space station by the way, there's these data rooms, and sometimes the navigation computer tells us to go to a data room and fetch some cool upgrade. And yeah, we're starting out with the rockets, missiles, thingies. Yes, what else story related that might be important? I think that's the basics. And yeah, the reason why we're on the space station right now is that a large part of Samus's infected suit got like surgically removed, and then they got sent to this space research station. But something bad happened, and like the container containing all of our infected suit like exploded, and there was like a huge distress signal from the space station. And now we're here to find out what happened. And we can already see that the X are everywhere. Oh wow, that was good RNG. Okay, let's... So coming up is the first boss of the game. But we're doing a quick pickup secret item here. So the first boss is Arachnus, which is not a spider. It's this lovely fella here. He likes to scream. And he likes to go in ball mode. Okay, one missile left, perfect. Okay. I'll explain in a second. Okay. So what you just saw is I defeated the boss, and then the boss turned into this like floating orb. That's like the X-Parasite core holding a ability. And this will happen pretty much at every single boss in the game, except for one. That every boss, when you like defeat them, they will change into just their X cores. And how you defeat them, they have like the shell, and with your missiles you can damage the shell. But whenever you hit them, they have like a short period of invincibility frames. And there's a very cool strat you can do that allows you to hit with like 2 missiles at the same time on like the same frame to do double damage, to like bypass the invincibility frames. But it's pretty tricky. Didn't get one there. And the first ability we got, or the second one I guess, is the Morph Ball. If you played Metroid games before, you obviously know about the Morph Ball. Very handy. Allows us to go into this ball. That will be very handy. Hello? There we go. Alright, so before I continue talking about the story, there might be something very important happening right about now. So let's just watch. Who is this mysterious figure? Why does it look like me? It has the screw attack. It has super missiles. It just destroyed the door. Okay, that's kind of scary. What was that? Monka. So what you just saw there was the SAX, or that is an abbreviation for the Samus Aran X. So this is what happened with our surgically removed parts of our previous suit, which were infected by the X. The X replicated like inside of the suit, and fast enough that they could like inhabit the entire suit. And yeah, there's like this SAX now running around in the space station, which has all of our capabilities. And yeah, that is very not cool. Because right now we are very weak. We don't have anything. We just recovered missiles and the Morph Ball. So that's woof, scary. So hopefully we will not encounter this SAX again, right? Surely. Surely. So another quick thing I can talk about is this space station, this research station, is split up in like 6 main sections, which are labeled via sectors, like sector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And all of these sectors have like a theme to them. Right now we're in sector 1. And sector 1 is like a replication of SRX-388, which is the home planet of the Metroids from Metroid 2. that in itself should already be a red flag to you. Replica of Metroid home planet, not good. Or at least the like environment. So, and why we're here in Sector 1 right now is because the X infected like some, for lack of better term, I call them like ventilation shafts. 5 of them, like this thing above me right there, and we have to clean them up. And if we clean up all 5, we can leave. So a tiny strat that is kind of important here, or is that, as I mentioned before, the yellow X that we pick up, they refill health, and the green one refill our ammo count. Okay, that's unlucky. There we go. And there is like this hidden math behind that you are way more likely to get a ammo pickup when you're at full health, because like the game kind of knows when you're at full health and doesn't give you health upgrades or like health refills because like it knows you're full. And right now we're very low, or like in this section we're very low on missiles, so I'm trying to stay at full HP as much as possible, so the likelihood of getting missile drops from the green X is higher. And yeah, coming up is the second boss. Before every boss is this very lovely like eye thing here. This is like RNG hell, because this thing can shoot its laser. It can do that exactly 3 times. Or like it can shoot 3 lasers before it can open the eye. So if you get very, very, very unlucky, the eye shoots 9 lasers before you can destroy it. Because you need 3 missiles. You need to shoot 3 missiles into the eye to destroy it and go through the door. Here's a funny little strat you can do to take out this X here. You just kind of... The AI in this game is not the smartest. And yeah, as you can read, we now just got a charge beam. And charge beam in this game is really, really, really strong. So as you... as the name might suggest, the charge beam allows you to charge up your beam. Shocking. But that's not it. But that's not all. There's also, whenever you have a charge shot fully ready, like this, and you shoot it, there's like so much force behind the charge shot that there's like a flare around your arm cannon that also does some damage. Which is very important early on. Because this tiny bit of extra damage from the flare from your cannon, if you're like in melee range with enemies, that can do a lot of extra damage. And we'll be using that for a while. Because the charge beam in this game is so much better than missiles, pretty much. Until like the end of the game. In other Metroid games, it's normally like the other way around, where missiles are just 10 times better than just a charge-up beam. But here I'll be using the charge beam for a lengthy minute. And yeah, since this is a very story-related game, every time we finish our quote-unquote like objective, we have to go back to this navigation room PC. Oh wait, I messed up. I forgot to... Oh yeah, I know what happened. I was so in the flow in the muscle memory that I totally forgot to clean up one of the ventilation shaft thingies. But good thing it's right around the corner. I could have counted in my head, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I only counted to 4. Quick maths. Yeah, I forgot this one over here. There we go. That's a bit embarrassing. That hasn't happened in a minute. There we go. All stabilizers online. Atmospheric levels equalized. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I was at the navigation room. So yeah, whenever you finish your objective, and don't accidentally skip one, you can go back to the navigation room and sort of get like your next objective. Like what's next on the to-do list. This is one of probably the more story and guided Metroid games out there. You still have a lot of room to explore and do what you want. But yeah, this is definitely one of the more story-focused and linear of the Metroid games. And yeah, so there, even if I wanted to leave, I couldn't, because whenever you kind of get locked into a sector, if you you see the door there we go. Only the computer, the navigation terminal can open up these rooms. So that will happen every now and then. The navigation room just locks me into a sector until I fulfill whatever I need to do in that specific sector. And yeah, we're done with Sector 1 for the moment, and we will be back there a few more times. We will be visiting all of the sectors a few times. But for now, we're just going into Sector 2. And Sector 2 is thematically around like a tropical environment. That's with the short TRO. Kind of forgot to mention, but every sector has like its short abbreviation. Instead of numbers, they also have like a short name. Yeah, here now the computer realized what the SAX is and is telling us about it. That it's like a replica of us that is mimicking all of our previous fighting abilities and capabilities. So it's very, very dangerous. It also has an ice beam, and as I mentioned at the start of the game, we now have a tiny bit of Metroid DNA inside of us, and Metroids are very, very vulnerable to the ice beam. And because of that Metroid DNA, I'm also very vulnerable to the ice beam. And conveniently for the SAX, it has an ice beam, so it would just freeze me and kill me if I would see it again. So let's hope that will not happen. So yeah, now we're in Sector 2, and our objective here is to get the bombs from a data room. If you remember, told earlier, we can get some abilities not from bosses, but just from data rooms. Now, here's the thing. This space station has like security locks, like here, security room. There's 4 different colored like gates. You can see there on the right, for example, that hatch has like a blue coloration. And now we have unlocked the blue level 1 hatches. And now we can go through all the blue doors because we unlocked security level 1. There are other security levels. The next one is green. Then there's yellow, and at the end there's red. Throughout the game I will be unlocking all 4 of the security doors. And pretty much whenever I unlock a security door, I'll get access to a data room that lets me download a new ability or something. And here we are, data room. So now we got some bombs. Bomb data downloaded. We're so far in the future, you can just stand on a machine and learn a new ability. Magic. So yeah, we just heard a tiny rumble. So that's kind of scary, what might have just happened. Also, here's bombs. We instantly use them to get to an item here. So we can't go the way we came, because the door over there is like frozen. I wonder who could have done that. So now we have to find like an alternative way around here, because we can't go the way we came from. And we're going this way. And there's also a few more items to collect. Also, I don't have any notes for all of these items. Hopefully I can just remember all 100 items that I need to collect. In my first practice run, went pretty good. Remembered all of them. In my second one, I forgot one. But luckily for me, there's a very handy feature in this game that when you play through the game once, it's like a New Game Plus mode that allows you to see on the minimap if you collected everything or not. So hopefully I will not forget to check in with that. Yep, another item coming up right here in a second. So some of you in chat might be impressed by how I can remember all of these locations and all of these items. And trust me, if you just do it long enough, eventually you just get the hang of it. So here's a no, not there, here. Here's this thing. This can trip up new players quite a lot because they get stuck in this room and they don't understand how to bomb the floor to raise this platform to continue. I definitely got stuck there on my first playthrough as a kid. And we're making our way to the next boss, which we don't know about because the computer didn't tell us about any bosses in this area. But because our way back got cut off by the SAX, because it froze the door, we had to find a different way around. And we can only escape this area with the ability of the boss that we're about to fight in here. Which is this friend here. This funny looking fella. This is also a bit of an RNG boss because he, as you can see, he jumps around and we want him to do this. Or he jumps up and tries to like suck us in. Now the amount of how many times he jumps around before he does that is a bit random. It can be anywhere from like 3 times to like 12 times or something. I don't fully remember the exact numbers. But this looks pretty good. Okay. And this last one. Oh, that was a miss. The last one is a bit tricky because... There we go. Alright, and as always, the X-Core. Let's see if we can get a double missile. That looked like a double missile? Wow, okay, that was pretty good. So you can just barely see it, but I talked about this at the first boss. So these X-Cores, right, they have invincibility frames whenever they get hit by a missile. So we're trying to get as much damage in with just a single thing. And what we're doing is, like, the hitbox of the X-Core is like, is not round as the enemy looks like, it's actually a box. And if you do it correctly, you can shoot, like you stand on the ground, shoot a missile, you jump up, and then mid-air, you shoot another missile. And then both of the missiles are like next to each other, and they hit the enemy at the exact same time. And here's a bit of a scary moment. This is the SAX. I could jump down here and try to run past it. But I'm not full health anymore, so I got hit by the previous enemy. If I was full life, I could have maybe tried to just YOLO run past him. But definitely not with that. So yeah, we now got a new ability, obviously, from the boss. Actually, it's like 2 abilities at the same time. We got the high jump and the bomb jump at the same time. So the high jump just allows us to jump higher, and the ball jump allows us to do something like this. Just a tiny shortcut there. And now we're back where we started. Now you see that the red worm thingies are like cocooning up. Yeah, we'll have to check in with those friends later, see what they evolve into. And yeah, back to navigation room. So yeah, hello friend. So I unlocked the security door 1 and I got bombs. What's up now, friend? So now the computer is telling us, because we opened up the security level 1. That was also in the interest of the X-Parasites that are all over this space station, because by opening the level 1 security, the X-Parasite now has access to sectors 3 and 4, which we just realized might have not been the best play. But the deed is already done, and we're now getting sent to Sector 4. No, not Sector 3, Sector 4 first, because we're not doing them in the correct order. So as you can see by the blue coloration and by the abbreviation AQA, Aqua, this is like the water area, the water section. We'll be here like 2 times. And now the computer is telling us about our next boss. It's telling us about a creature called Xoneris, a super fast creature, and it was also obviously infected by the X and like absorbed. And now with the capabilities of like Xoneris, it is like wreaking havoc in this Sector 4 here. So the computer is telling us take care of it before it destroys like everything. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do here. So one thing that happens in the sector is because of the destruction that was caused already by Xoneris, there are exposed electrical wires into the water, which basically equates to, if you go into water, not good damage. Not all of the water, but some portions of the water are electrocuted. So that's like some damage caused by Xoneris. Before we can go to Xoneris though and take care of it, need to obviously get another item. This one is one that is tiny bit out of the way. Now if you look at the minimap, I'm actually like right above the boss, or right under the boss, but you just saw there's like a collapsed bridge there. I think it's like intended for first-time players to go this route because it looks the shortest. And then you see, oh no, the bridge has collapsed. I have to find another way around. Boop. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Talking about the electrocuted water, this is, you can see it right here. So whenever, if I would fall into the water right here, I would take continuously damage from the electrocuted water. So hopefully we can try to avoid that a tiny bit. It doesn't do the most damage, but you know, better take no damage. Another tiny hidden item here. And now we can already slowly but surely make our way to Xoneris. And Xoneris probably has one of the coolest abilities in the game. You can like, if you're a tiny bit familiar with Metroid, and when I tell you like Xoneris thing is like super speed, you can already make an educated guess what kind of ability we're going to get from Xoneris. Nope, that's, there we go. Okay, you see on the minimap, after this door is a skull symbol, so here's the boss. Wait, hold on. This is not the boss. What is this? This is like the dead version. The original version of Xoneris that got absorbed. Oh boy. But we see the beam eye here. So we can make an educated guess that the boss is probably behind this door. So Xoneris fight is a bit annoying. So let's focus real quick. There we go. So Xoneris is exactly one of these fights where the flare damage from the charge beam comes in handy. Because we're trying to hit, like, the only vulnerable spot of Xoneris is its head. So we're trying to... Oh, wow, that was close. So we're trying to... There we go. Wow, that was good. So because of the tiny bit of extra damage from our flare from the charge gun, we can actually kill it in like 3... Kill Xoneris in like 3 charged shots because the flare hits every time and there's just enough damage to like 3-cycle it. That was a pretty good fight. So yeah, from Xoneris, we now get the speed booster. We can now finally go fast. We are speed now. So if you're not familiar with Metroid games, this is like kind of a staple in a lot of Metroid games, the speed booster. So if you just run for a while continuously, you at some point charge enough energy that you go like hyper fast and go into the speed booster. And one cool thing you can do with that is when you're like running fast and in the speed booster mode, you can like charge up the energy and release it differently. And with that you can do then what's called a shine spark. I will be doing that quite a lot in the run because it's just very useful. There are certain types of blocks that can only be destroyed via the speed booster or a shine spark for that matter, which will be coming up in just a second. Because now that we defeated Xoneris and we got its ability, we have to leave this sector somehow. Because the way we came from, we can't go back. So we have to activate this terminal here, so the water level gets lowered. And with the lowered water levels, we can actually leave the sector again. And here you can see, I'm just running, and if I run enough, we go here into Speed Booster. And I can charge it up like this. Not like this. And then release it like that. There's an item I'll be collecting in just a second here where I can show this, like store it and then release it like this. Whenever I'm releasing a shine spark like that, I can do it in all different I can do it diagonally or just straight up or left and right. It's pretty useful ability. Alright, and that was basically it for Sector 4 for the moment. So let's head back to the computer and see what he has to say. Where we need to go next. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Alright, boss, we took care of Xoneris. What's next? So the computer is telling us about some new upgrades to our missiles, where we can go to another data, to another download room, where we can download the new missiles, the new upgrade. And there is a download area in Sector 4, but the computer does not want us to go there and download it there. Instead, it redirects us to Sector 3. And Sector 3 is like the heat area. You will see when I get there in a moment. There's a lot of red colors, obviously, indicating warm heat. Now, and because I still don't have any upgrades to my suit, I don't have the Varia suit or the Gravity suit, I am also very vulnerable to like very, very extremely heated sections. But luckily for us, not this entire sector is like heated areas. There's actually none. And right now, we just learned that obviously, because it's a data room, it is protected again by some security locks. So we have to find the green security locks, level 2 first, before we can go to the data room. Now, for security reasons, the data rooms are not marked in the map, and the computer also doesn't know where they are. So we just have to find them by ourselves. Because security. Makes sense. Good for us that I'm an experienced speedrunner, sometimes at least. And I know exactly where this thing is. And it's here. Wow, that was easy. Security level 2 unlocked. Green hatches now active. So now we can go through the green hatches. Quickly need to get an item here. Maybe not get hit by these enemies all too much. Oh boy. Sir, please. There we go. Is this enough? Oh, come on. Okay. And shoop. Not a quick speed booster there to get out of here. Now that we have unlocked the security, we can now go to the download room and get some new missile upgrades. That's great. Okay, coming up is a very special missile tank. In the community, the missile tank is called Bob. This one. This one's called Bob. And it is, for a very, very, very long time, it was the only item in the like optional item in the game that was like not skippable. Like you couldn't get past this like missile tank without picking it up. And that's why there's 1% speedruns. Just a fun fact. But by now we have found some very clever, interesting strats how to get past this that specific missile tank. So you can actually play through the game now, and at the end it says percentage of items collected 0. Because all of your main upgrades like Charge Beam, Morph Ball, Speed Booster, in this game they don't count towards your item progression level. It only counts missile tanks, energy tanks, and power bomb packs. And because there's one of each, every one of them equates to 1%. And yeah, I forgot to talk about, we now got the new missiles. We now basically have the super missiles. And unlike previous Metroid games where normal missiles and super missiles are like different things, you can like select them differently. In this game, your normal missiles just get upgraded into super missiles, which is very convenient. So here's the next boss. This is sort of like a security robot. This is the only boss in the game that doesn't have an X-core. Wow, that was the perfect fight. And you also can't kill it, it just escapes like that. There we go. Fast and easy. And now that we opened the security locks and gotten the thing we came for, we can just go back to the computer again and see what's up next on the plate. And since there is a bit of again some story exposition, this would be a moment for George. If he wants to talk about anything, any donations, incentives, charity.
Absolutely. So unfortunately we don't have any donations right now, but you, yes you, the viewer at home, you can change that. We have a total raised of $846.70, and if you go to speedcon.eu/donate or follow the links in chat or below the stream, you can raise that number and save a lot of children in the process. As said, we're raising money for Save the Children. And we currently don't have any donation incentives at the moment, but your money is still going towards an absolutely amazing cause. I was going to say amazing child, but sorry about that. Yes, that's still that's still true. And I also do want to mention that because Save the Children is a US registered 501c3 charity, based on your local laws and regulations, again, do check your local laws, your donation may be tax deductible. So check wherever you're living, Germany, US, Canada, I don't know where you are, where you're watching this from. Check your laws, and if you donate, you may get a little bit money back on your tax return.
That's a very good point. Thanks. All right. So, because we opened up the green hatches, security level 2, we now also get access to sectors 5 and 6. Now, Sector 5 is like the Arctic sector, the very cold area. And if you remember what I said earlier about the ice beam and me being vulnerable to like cold, the computer is advising us to absolutely not go into Sector 5 right now, because the sub-zero temperatures of that area will just be not very healthy for me. Instead, it directs me to Sector 6, which is like a nocturnal area. It's like in the game it's not very dark, but it's like supposed to be like the dark area where like creatures of like night and darkness can like live and breed. And the reason why it directs us to Sector 6 is because of a suit upgrade. So the computer is aware that we're very vulnerable to like the cold damage, and it has prepared a suit upgrade for us, the Varia suit. And for that we need to go into Sector 6 and go to the download of Sector 6. Now unfortunately the sub-zero temperatures of Sector 5 has turned some of the X-parasites in like these blue ones. And these blue ones are currently very dangerous for me because of their cold affinity. I can actually not absorb them without taking massive damage. And now we're in a room where we're a tiny bit stuck, and oh boy, Monka. Okay, how do we get out? Oh no. Panic. We're kind of stuck here. Oh no. Powerbomb. Okay, good thing the SAX is very stupid. So there will be a few encounters with the SAX, like this, which are intended to be very, very scary and very dramatic, because you can't fight it. You just have to run away. There's no way you can defeat it. Your current abilities, like, it's impossible. You can't do it. So there's a few of these forced encounters with it, where we just have to run away, and they're supposed to be like this high pressure horror kind of moments. But it then kind of turns out that the AI of the SAX is just not very smart, and you can just very, very easily like manipulate it. But you'll see that. But you also just saw that. That was an X-core, and it was downloading our data. What is this? What is this scam? So this ginormous core here just absorbed our data that was for us.
It stole the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah. Maximum scam here. Let's see if we can... Oh wow, nice. Good stuff. Alright. So it absorbed the Varia suit. And yeah, now we have the Varia suit. And welcome everybody to the ugliest suit in Metroid history. Like... Yeah, not a fan of this particular color combination here of like pink and like toxic green, I guess. It's very weird. No, I fell down. Hold on. I'm cheating. There we go. You didn't see anything, chat? I was fine. I totally did not fall down there. You just imagined that. Alright, yeah. Now we have the Varia suit. And now we can absorb these blue X without taking any damage. We can also be in heated and frozen areas without taking any damage. Which is pretty cool for us. I mean, that was kind of the entire point of going here and getting the suit. Every time. Come on. There we go. Tiny shortcut. Yeah, now that we have the Varia suit, we can go to the final sector that we haven't visited yet, which is Sector 5, the cold sector. If I remember correctly, the abbreviation was ARC for like Arctis. Arctic, something like that. So yeah, once again, going back to the computer friend and getting some orders. Picking up some items on the way. Because after all, this is still a 100% run. Where we need to collect everything, which hopefully I will. Guess we'll see about that. The anticipation will be massive. Right, so the computer now is a little bit baffled that the X core was able to just download some data. Like, that is not really how this is supposed to work. And this is now very dangerous. Because these data rooms for the longest time have been like our safe haven where we can just very securely and safely get some upgrades. But as we just saw and learned, the X cores can do that too. So that's not very good for us. And yeah, it also told us now that we have the Varia suit that we can go to Sector 5 and get some new upgrades there. Now, because of our Metroid DNA, we are actually physically not able to wield an ice beam. That's like the lore explanation why we can't have an ice beam right now. Because of the Metroid DNA. And how the game is like compensating for that is that it instead upgrades our missiles to ice missiles. And this is what we're going to do now here in Sector 5, or like that's the idea. Because you can see there again, there's the D for the data room, or for the download room. Where we are supposed to download some ice missiles. Because we can't have an ice beam, so ice missiles are needed. Now, in order to get to that, we need to unlock security level 3. Oh, yeah, right. We need to unlock security level 3 doors, which are the yellow doors. And obviously, the ice missiles are locked behind the yellow door, so we have to find the security room first, so we can unlock it, and then we can go to the data room. And once again, the security rooms are not marked on the map, so the player just has to find it themselves by just exploring and see where it goes. But obviously I'm a professional, know exactly where I need to go. It's not my first rodeo here. Fun fact, this will also be in a sector where there will be no bosses, which is kind of nice, convenient. Whoops. So as you already saw, there's these very cold areas of the game. Whenever like the background looks very icy and cold, that's like a cold room. And without the Varia suit that I just picked up earlier, I would just take continuous like environmental damage from it. But yeah, that's why we picked up the Varia suit, so we can be here without problems. And yeah, here's security room. Security room. We now have unlocked the yellow doors. Damn it, that was a tiny bit too slow. There we go, and now we can go and grab ourselves some cool ice missiles. So rooms like this. And here we go. Download room, or the data room. Brrrt. Ice effect added to missiles. Use it to freeze enemies. And yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory. The only thing that's very cool about this is... Wait, I don't need to do this right now. The cool thing about this is whenever you freeze an enemy, you can stand on them without taking any damage. So hit-based or like contact damage gets disabled when an enemy is frozen. Which is why we will be abusing that, or why we'll be abusing some enemies to freeze them and then stand on top of them to progress sometimes, or to get some items. There are some puzzles later on where you actually are expected to freeze some enemies and then use them as platforms. Damn it. Unlucky placement. Please, sir, can you not? Alright, and yeah, that was all about that. Now coming up is everybody's favorite section. And also don't worry about the shadow that is like looming around in the background and like... Yeah, that thing. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I'll be entering or exiting this door, and now everybody's favorite part starts. So everybody who knows to copy pasta in the chat, feel free to post that. So as you can see, something is very, very, very not good right now. Emergency in Sector 3. Or as the copy pasta goes, emergency in Franker Z. So yeah, what's happening? What's the emergency? Why is everything like what's the panic for? So what's happening is Sector 3 is like the heat area, the hot area. And there is like a cooling system in Sector 3 so it doesn't overheat and doesn't melt down the entire station. But somebody or something just deactivated the cooling system in Sector 3, and now Sector 3 is about to like overheat, and by overheating it would like damage the actual reactor of the system of the space station, and then the entire space station would go kabloom. And obviously we kind of would not appreciate that. So we have 6 minutes to go and reactivate the cooling system for Sector 3. Which should hopefully not take us all too long. Normally 6 minutes is way enough. Normally it takes like 2.5 minutes or so. So yeah, as you can also see here, these are like the heated areas. It's very hot, but good thing we have the Varia suit, so we don't take environmental damage. If we jump into lava, we would still take some damage. So hopefully we can avoid jumping into some lava, like right here. And yeah, as you can see, Ice Missile is very handy. Just freeze enemies. You don't have to fight them, you can just freeze them. And I jumped into lava for a second. Okay, almost in the boiler room here. Oh boy, what is this? I see another, like, laser door. That means behind here is a boss. Oh no. 4.5 minutes for a boss, what is this? Wait, was that a human just now? Was that a human that just turned into an X-Core? What's going on here? That's a bit sus. That's very sus. Okay, there we go. Wide beam ability recovered. Beam widens dramatically. Emphasis on dramatically. And yeah, cooling unit operational. What was the time left? Like 4.5 minutes or so? So it took me actually only 1.5 minutes. So it's not that big of an emergency after all. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We also got a new upgrade. This is the wide beam. Our second beam upgrade after the charge beam. And as you can see, instead of our tiny little shot, now because of the wide beam, it has a wider spread. Which is pretty cool. It's pretty handy. This is also the first Metroid game to introduce the wide beam. Before Metroid Fusion, the wide beam was never seen before. Normally, the beams are charge beam, ice beam, wave beam, and plasma beam. Those are normally like the standard beams in Metroid games. So yeah, it's kind of cool that they added some what do you call, like, new things in Metroid. I mean, that also goes for like the ice missiles. This is the first game that has like ice missiles. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, obviously since we reactivated the cooling area or the cooling unit, we go back to the computer and see what our next orders are. And it may or may not have something to do with the scientist that activated it and then turned into an X. Okay, so hit us up, buddy. What's up with this? The X mimicked a crew member. Oh no. That's not good, right? So, but now we find out something kind of interesting. So, if the 6-minute timer of the emergency would have ran out and the entire space station would have exploded, that would have also eradicated all the X on this on the space station. And the computer tells us that the X normally are very self-preserving, so that seems a bit counterintuitive that they would just blow up the entire space station and like kind of suicide. So the computer is not really sure why that happened. This also gives the player a bit to ponder on. Like, if this is really the case, like, what? But now for the first time, we can go to the main deck. This is where we started the game, because we have been in every sector, like, once now. Actually, twice in Sector 3. And the computer wants us to check on the scientists, or not the scientists, but basically the living quarters of like the researchers of the station. The computer is hoping that there are still some humans alive somewhere on the space station. And yeah, he directs us to the living quarters because he is picking up some biosignatures from this area. And the X does not count as like a biosignature, so the computer is hoping that there are some humans here somewhere alive. Oops. Definitely don't want to fall down there. That would be not so good. Can you? There we go. Okay. What's that? I want to... Oh, perfect. Take this little shortcut. There you go. So the living organisms the computer detected were these fellow friends here. And if you are an enjoyer of Metroid, you might recognize these creatures if you played Super Metroid. These creatures here are the exact same creatures as in Super Metroid. The three monkey-looking creatures that in Super Metroid teach you about the wall jump. And the other greenish, I don't know, the other greenish bird-looking creature, which teaches you about the speed booster or the shine sparking in Super Metroid. And yeah, Samus right now is reminiscing a bit on that she saw these creatures before on one of her missions. It's a tiny reference to Super Metroid. And yeah. So unfortunately for the computer, no humans alive. There were only some scientists, some friends, some animals. Yeah. And the computer is now concluding that probably every human on the space station is dead and has been absorbed by the X, which is not good, because the X parasites also do what's the word? They also have the memories of the creatures they absorb. Which now all the X parasites, or some of the X parasites here, have the memories of the humans, and this is how they could like even activate or like deactivate like... Oh wait, I was supposed to go into... why the X was even supposed to deactivate the cooling system in Sector 3, because like one would think it's like security locked or something, that you can't just deactivate a very, very important part of the space station so it doesn't explode. But yeah, with the memory of the scientist, that it absorbed, it just activated it, and that's not so good. But yes, it's time for something cool. For our next upgrade in Sector 5. Now we will do some backtracking throughout the sectors. Starting with Sector 5. We're going back to Sector 5 to pick up, for the first time, some power bombs. We picked up the normal regular bombs pretty much at the start of the game. It was the third upgrade. But now it's time for the super bombs, power bombs. And for that we're reusing the same data room that we already used before in Sector 5. Maybe we can do a tiny cool thing here. Ah, there we go, nice. Very precise shine spark that saves like 2 seconds or so maybe. Maybe even less. But it looks very cool. Also, still don't worry about the shadow in the background. That is totally... That surely is not going to be a problem later on, right? Surely. So this time we don't need to deactivate any security locks. We can just walk in here and download. Power bomb data downloaded. As a ball, hold R and press B. So you now see on the top of the screen we have like 10 power bombs. We don't have infinite bombs or like infinite power bombs. But we do have... Yeah. Here's the first time using one. By getting this energy tank and yeah. Not killing this friend. Also picking up another semi-secret item in here. For the longest time as a kid, I totally didn't understand what I needed to do in this room. But the item is over there. And like, here's one of the puzzles where you need to freeze one of the enemies. Need to freeze this Ripper, and there we go. It's a tiny bit of a tricky jump. But yeah, just like that, pretty good. And now with the power bombs, we can find our way out. And coming up is another encounter with the SAX. You heard the ice beam in the background. Now you hear dramatic music. And it's over. You didn't even get to see the SAX. That's how dramatic this encounter was. Alright, time to pick up some more items here. Boop. Boop. Oh god. Okay, just barely made it. These 3 Rippers up there can sometimes be a bit annoying. They don't always spawn the same way. They don't always have the same pattern. But yeah, we collected now the super bombs, power bombs. And that's basically the entire objective, why we came here. Now it's time to head back. Too slow again. Boop. Now before we leave the sector, we're gonna do another tiny puzzle where we freeze some Rippers and use them as platforms. This right here, definitely one of the more annoying rooms of the game. Because you have these crumble blocks here. Oh, can I make this jump? Okay, perfect. And whoop. There we go. Perfect. Wow, that's pretty good. There's all these crumble blocks, and if I stand on top of a crumble block, it just crumbles, and yeah, I fall down, which is not so cool. But yeah, this is all for it for now with Sector 5. So time to head back to Mr. Navigation PC room and get some new orders. Once again, don't worry about the shadow in the background. That is surely not going to be an issue later. It definitely doesn't look like menacingly, scarily. Surely it's going to be fine. And whoop. And here we are at navigation room. So, friend, what's up? What can we do next? Samus, return to your ship. I have important information. Okay. Quick and easy. Can't get any simpler orders than that. Sounds pretty simple, right? We just go back to our ship? There's surely nothing that can go wrong by that, right? Just go back. No bosses, no enemies, no nothing. Just casually take this elevator back up. And just suddenly, mid-elevator, all the power of the station just completely vanishes. Stops. Also, frozen Ridley. Surely also not gonna be an issue. Picking up another item real quick here. At least we got some suspenseful music right now. I really like this music here. Alright. So, yeah, we're not really sure what happened right now. We just know that basically the entire space station lost power, energy. But I guess we just still go back to our ship and find out what's happening. So right now we learned that the main reactor stopped working, and the computer is tasking us to go there. But also the main reason why we actually came back here to the ship is because remember the creatures right there? They're now inside of our ship. They're now living inside of our ship. And yeah, that's the entire reason why the computer called us back to our ship, just to tell us that the animals are now living in the ship, which he couldn't just tell us like that. So yeah, this here is the reactor room, and as you can see, this doesn't look quite right here. Something here is kind of off. There are like all these vines around the main reactor, which wonder what that might have cost. What is that down there? Oh no, is that an eyeball enemy? Does it mean there's an ex-boss behind there? Guess there's only one way to find out. It's definitely a laser eye thingy. Alright. It's time for everybody's favorite boss. It's big, scary Spider-Man. Everybody's childhood nightmares. So yeah, this enemy... okay. Wow, I got hit by the flame. So I'm intentionally getting grabbed here to speed up the cycles. And obviously I'm getting the worst ones. Hello, sir? So I'd like him to open up his mouth, just like that. There we go. This is first phase done. Now begins the annoying phase, where he jumps around. That's quickly... okay, it's going pretty smooth so far. There we go. No. Wow, that was pretty good. And now we're back to the X-Core. Let's see if we can get some double missiles in. That was a double missile. Let's go. That was a bit too early. There we go. Space jump ability recovered. Somersault continually in air. So we now basically got infinite jumps. This is a very cool ability. It takes a moment to get used to because you can't just spam the A button and continuously jump. There's like a tiny bit of a downtime. There's a tiny bit of cooldown is the word that I'm looking for. There's a tiny bit of cooldown between jumps. And yeah, so the reason why we came all this way down here is to activate like the emergency generator so that the most important parts of the main station are still capable. Because without the main generator here, a lot of the things in this station don't work. But at least with the like backup energy, there's a few things that work now, like gates and navigation rooms. And hey, look, it's our friend the SAX. And we still can't defeat it, but now with the ice missile, we can at least freeze it for a bit. Ow. And once again, this is supposed to be one of the super dramatic chase sequences, but bye. And it's over. Because for some reason it can't follow us down the hatch there. And yeah, so what we're supposed to do next is to, like, we saw that the entire reactor room is like engulfed in vines, and we're trying to find what's the cause, what's the root, or like, yeah, basically, no pun intended, what's the roots? What's the root problem? So we're tracking down, or tracking back where these roots come from, and they lead us into the next boss, which is my personal favorite boss. I don't know, I just like it thematically. It's just kind of fun. You can already see the laser beam eye door here. There we go. So, the next boss is this plant-like Chozo statue thingy. Has 3 phases. This was phase 1. In phase 2 it shoots some beams. You just need to dodge. And I got hit, nice. And then it already turns into the core. And you can already make an educated guess what ability we're going to get from this fella here. We're getting the plasma beam. Beam now pierces enemies. Now lore-wise, the plasma beam is normally the strongest beam in the game. But we're still missing the wave beam. But the plasma beam is technically stronger than the wave beam. Because the plasma beam just allows us to shoot through enemies. Like multiple enemies, like if there are multiple enemies standing in a row, you can just shoot one beam and hit all of them, which is very, very convenient. Alright, on the way, just collecting some few more items here on the way. Whoops. Doing some pew-pews. Also makes a very satisfying pew-pew sound. Yeah, now collecting some more important items. Especially this one here is kind of important. This is an item I could have collected way earlier, but now with all of our upgrades, it's a tiny bit faster. Whoop. All right, and yeah, we have taken care of the root problem of the vines, and now the entire space station has energy again. And yeah, let's see what the navigation has to say. Friend, what's the next? What? You have restored plasma beam? That is unexpected. Okay, thanks. Okay, and we can already see next emergencies going on somewhere in Sector 5. Apparently there was a huge explosion in Sector 5. And also it just said the damage is staggering. Remember the floating shadow behind? Totally doesn't have to do anything with that, right? Surely. Surely. Yeah, let's go to Sector 5 and check out what's going on there. It sounds kind of scary. Right here. Maybe we can get some more information from this navigation terminal and see what's up here. What do you have to say? It's gotten worse. Oh, great. Thanks. So the computer is telling us about a bioorganic creature called Nightmare, which is like a weaponized for military purpose constructed like being that like can control gravity and stuff. It's like super dangerous stuff. Aww, unfortunate. There's a super cool shine spark I could have done here, but I just barely missed it. Yeah, as you can see, damage. Everything here is kind of wrecked. Yeah, the computer was not lying when it said like the damage is staggering. Like this entire place is yeah. But obviously we still got to collect some items on the way here because we're doing the 100% speedrun. So yeah, we got told to go and kill Nightmare, which is most likely by now also absorbed by the X-Parasite, and a creature as dangerous as Nightmare is definitely not allowed to live if it's being absorbed by the X-Parasite. So we need to take that one out ASAP. Now, because of all the staggering damage that Nightmare dealt in Sector 5, the cold area, all the cold melted down, and now there's a lot of water in this area, in this section. And at the moment, with my current suit, I don't have my full movement capabilities underwater. So that's a bit unfortunate. Some more items on the way here. This one here is kind of funny item, tucked away up here on the side. And yeah, we're almost at Nightmare already. May or may not indicated by another laser beam eye door here. And we get a free energy tank. But obviously it's not quite that easy. If you go the straight route, you just fall down. Oh no. Okay, this is the boss room. Now Nightmare slowly emerges. So this is the creature that caused all this massive damage. And you see like the gravity cannon at the bottom here. So it has now activated the gravity cannon. If I had tried to shoot missiles, they would actually be... Okay, I already passed that point. Okay, now this is the real Nightmare. It's this like sludge thing. This is a bit awkward. Perfect. Okay, and this should be... Yeah, there we go. That's Nightmare. That was a pretty good fight. That was an excellent fight. And as you can see, it was indeed absorbed by the X-Parasites. But now one could wonder what cool ability we get. It probably has to do something with gravity. Because this creature can manipulate gravity, right? So what may it be? It's a gravity suit! Move freely in water! And now our suit finally changes to a awesome looking color. We now have this like bluish purple suit, which is very, very cool looking. This is definitely one of my favorite suits in Metroid, compared to the Varia suit, which is very ugly. But this one looks great. And yeah, since we got the gravity suit now, whoops. since we got gravity suit now, we can freely move underwater. Oh, come on. And with that, we can also use the speed booster and shine sparks underwater, which is how we are going to escape here. Now, because all of the staggering damage, we can't just go back through Sector 5. We have to go this way, go into Sector 4, and have to leave here somewhere. If you remember, Sector 4 was like the aqua area. And I think this area is like my favorite area in terms of just looks. Just look at this environment. This looks so colorful and beautiful, so detailed. I really like this area. Also, the background music is very chill and calming. I really like this area. This is a great area. And up next, we're gonna do something that the computer is absolutely not gonna enjoy. Because after we defeated the Nightmare, we don't have a chance again to meet back up with the navigation room and like talk to the computer. So we kind of need to fight for ourselves now for a tiny bit. We have to start thinking ourselves for a moment. We can't just do what the computer says because there's no computer. And what's going to happen in just a moment is that I'm going to deactivate the last security barrier, the red one, which the computer is absolutely not going to enjoy, because he never gave me the authorization to open up that. But for gameplay reasons, you have to. Like, you cannot exit this area without unlocking here the security level 4, the red hatches. And yeah, definitely not gonna be a fan of that. But now, because we unlocked the last security, we can basically go anywhere. And with that, I'm gonna pick up some more items on the way. And I guess this, in the meantime, this is also a good moment again for George. If he wants to say a few words as a donation, talk about charity, whatever you want to talk about, friend.
Oh, I can always talk about charity, you know me. So, for those who don't know, we're here at SpeedCon. We're raising money for Safety Children, which is a 501c3 registered in the US, which helps children multinationally. It's an absolutely gigantic organization. If I get this right, yeah, they operate in 120 different countries, saving children across the world from diseases, illnesses, hunger, everything. So every dollar you donate to them is a dollar well spent. So even just one single dollar that can, you know, feed a child for an entire day. $10 can feed 10 childs for a day. It's amazing. So if you have a couple dollars to spare, then you can go to speedcon.eu/donate or follow the links in chat or below the stream, and we can keep raising our donation counter. We have raised $846 so far, but we can definitely get that up to 4 digits by the end of the event.
Absolutely. The goal would be at the end of the marathon have $1,000. That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah.
There's not too many runs left, so don't hesitate with your donations if you can spare them. Nice. Got the strat. This is a very cool strat. Saves a bit of time. Yeah, in the meantime, nothing super important happened here. I'm just still in Sector 4. Beautiful area. Just picking up some items on the way. Very cool. Alright, then now we're also gonna do something that the computer, the navigation room, never ever mentioned. You remember that in Sector 4 there was a data room, right? It's literally right below us right now. And right now we have access to that. Does it work? Is there actually something to download? Oh, there is something. What might this be? We don't know. Diffusion added to missiles. Charge with R, fire with B. So our missiles basically just got a charge up too. If they charge up, they do like this aura effect of ice, and they freeze everything within the radius. And this is literally the first time we ever see this. Like, the computer never even mentioned the existence of these. And this is intended, like... Yeah, you're not supposed to know about these diffusion missiles. And if I've done everything correct, this... I should be about to pick up the last item in Sector 4, hopefully. Check. Yup. Nice. So you saw it very, very briefly. At the very top of the map screen, there was a symbol for missiles, power bombs, and energy tanks. And each one of them had like a tiny check mark. That means that I have collected every item in this specific area in here in Sector 4. It's pretty good. That's a good start. It's pretty good. Yeah, so this is the first time we've talked to the computer after he told us to go and kill Nightmare. And yeah, the computer is not very happy with us right now because we unlocked security level 4 and downloaded these missiles without the computer's like orders. And yeah, not very happy about that. But what you gonna do? But yeah, we'll figure it out later. Or the computer will think of something. He doesn't have time right now. So in the meantime, we're going back to Sector 6. Because you guys remember the one boss that I defeated that I couldn't kill, that just ran away, this like security robot? Yeah, that guy showed up again. He's now in Sector 6 and wreaking havoc here somewhere. Because he's now out of control or something. And yeah, we basically just got told to go and destroy the security robot for good now, because he is kind of starting to become a little bit of a mess. Okay, that's awkwardly frozen enemy. Alright, another energy tank for the bank. I have so much energy by now. If you're a speedrun 100%, it's like kind of hard to die. Like you need to really, really screw up royally somewhere to actually die. There's one section that is a tiny bit dangerous at the very start of the game. Basically the first encounter with the SAX. There's a very tiny chance you can die there, but after that point there is nowhere where you should realistically ever die in a 100% run. Because I already have so much health and I will just be getting more and more energy tanks. So yeah, we're still looking for the security robot. For that, we just go to this dead end here. And we trigger this like this message warning, no entry without authorization. And this message kind of triggers the security bot. And yeah, now we fight him in this area. Is that correct? That was not enough. There we go. Yeah, it's his friend again, but he has upgraded a tiny bit. In my practice earlier, this fight was really not going so well. I kind of forgot how to do this fight optimally. There we go. Oh wow, okay, there we go. That's not so bad. Alright, we see like inside of the bot was some sort of like brain or something. And by the looks of it, it seems like this brain also got absorbed by the X-Parasite. And it shoots out some weird like DNA looking beam or something. Might we get a beam upgrade? Wave beam ability recovered. Beam now penetrates walls. So yeah, we're basically now... we have our full beam upgrades. We have charge beam, white beam, plasma beam, and the wave beam. So now with this combination we can shoot through walls and through enemies. And with the wave beam we can like this unlock this gate from the other side, because our beam shoots through the gate. And now this here is a pretty cool moment in the story. We're in this secret laboratory here. And oh, what is this? Are these Metroids? This looks like Metroids. Why are there Metroids? I'm pretty sure Samus killed all the Metroids in Metroid 2, so what is going on? And why is everything... Oh my god, what? Oh my god, it's the SAX, what's happening? Why is Metroids? Oh god, everything... What? Panic? Ah! Okay, SAX, everything exploding, floating Metroids, okay, okay, let's... And? Okay. What in God's name just happened here? You might be wondering. So, we just learned that in this space station there was a very secret Metroid breeding project going on with the last little bit of DNA that we had from the baby Metroid from Super Metroid. They tried to clone and replicate Metroids. And yeah, we just found that. And the SAX also found the secret lab with all the Metroid. And it blew it up. But then it got like ejected from the station and it exploded. You saw that, right? That means now the SAX is dead, right? You saw it? It was in there and it like got... And boom, right? So the SAX is dead, right? Easy. No more enemies? Or like no more antagonists, right? Surely. Well, not quite, unfortunately. So the computer just told us, because of the very rapid reproduction of the X-parasites, there's now not just one SAX on the space station, not just 2, but like 10. And yeah, that is kind of scary. So we kind of need to do something about that very fast, or otherwise there will be like 100 of these SAX running around here in the space station very soon. And even if I recover all of my abilities, Samus can't take on like 100 SAX at the same time. So we have to figure out a solution really quickly. Like really quickly. In the meantime, we are heading to our next boss, which the computer doesn't know about, but we just have to defeat him. We also have to defeat these golden pirates. I hate these golden pirates. Please, sir. There you go. So you can only damage them on their back, but the way that is like coded into the game is it just checks where the pirate and where Samus is facing. And if you just shoot the beam and turn around, the game kind of thinks that you're behind the pirate, because it kind of makes sense. And yeah, then you can hit them. And look! It's our good friend, Ridley. Hope you're ready for some crybaby action here. The loud screeches of Ridley. Wee! Wee! Oh, come on, stop turning around. So the way we're gonna take this guy out is we just gonna shoot a fully charged wave plasma. But it has to go diagonally, because how the wave beam works is that the wave beam does damage for every single frame that it is inside of an enemy. And if you shoot the beam diagonally, that is the most time the beam has inside of Ridley. And we're already the X-Core. And what kind of ability do we get from Ridley? It's a screw attack. Somersault into enemies. So if you know anything about this, the screw attack, you see like we now have this electrical energy around us. And that is the screw attack. The screw attack is like the most overpowered ability in Metroid games most of the times. Because you can just jump around, you can jump into enemies, and most of the enemies just die if you jump into them with the screw attack. That's also why you just get it this late in the game, because it's just so strong. And yeah, so now is a very interesting moment in the run. Because Ridley was the last boss before the final boss. So technically, we could go to the final boss of the game now. But we're doing 100%, right? So before we go to the final boss of the game, we now have to do a lot of item collecting. This is normally what you call the cleanup. So what we're gonna do right now for like the next 20 minutes is that we'll go through sector, and we'll be collecting every single item that we could not, that we either skipped for the sake of speed or that we actually physically couldn't collect yet. That is exactly what is going to happen for the next while. Some items I deliberately didn't pick up as early as I could, because some items are just a tiny bit faster to collect when you have all of your upgrades, all of your abilities unlocked. Because of various reasons, the power bombs destroys blocks every so slightly faster. Screw attack can destroy bomb blocks. Speed booster is very convenient. All these tiny strats that make some of the item collection just a tiny bit faster. This is also where hopefully my brain works correctly and I don't forget a single item. Now obviously I have my handy map that tells me if I collected everything or not, but even if I forgot something, then I would need to remember, and then I would need to go back, and that would be a time loss. Damn it. Need to charge up a Shine Spark here. Let's try again. So let's not mess this up. There we go. If you remember, this is the boss room of the charge core. The next item I'm collecting, for example, is an item that I could have collected earlier already. Right here. But with the diffusion missiles, these blocks are being destroyed a tiny bit faster because of the gravity suit. I can move underwater ever so slightly faster. You see these tiny optimizations. Collecting this item now instead of later saves like half a second or so, maybe. At maximum. This here, I think, is also an item that I could have collected earlier by doing some wall jumps. Oops. But jumping up here all the way with the spin jump. Space jump. That's the name. It's also tiny bit faster. You kind of get the idea how it works with the cleanup here. And if my memory serves correctly, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 items left here in Sector 1. Very conveniently, 3 of them are in this room here. This is a very weird room to me. You have 3 missile pack expansions all in this one single room. And for all of them you need like a different ability. For this one you need the gravity suit, for the other one you don't need anything, but the one behind you need like the jump extender, the double jump, not the double jump, the high jump. So, and the last item, hopefully, should be right around the corner here in Sector 1. Let's check. Do we have 3 check marks? There we go. We have all 3 check marks. That means we've collected all items in Sector 1. Perfect. That's very good. Very, very good. And now something very, very cool. This is something that only really is in the very end of the game. All of these sectors are connected to each other, so I don't need to use the main hub. So sector 1 is connected to 1 and 3, 3 is connected to 5 and 1. You get the idea. So I can go from sector to sector without ever needing to go to a to visit a navigation station, because the next time I'll see a navigation with the computer, he has a very long dialogue about the end of the game, or like how the game is going to end. And before we get there, I'll just collect all of the items, which is very cool. That it's like that you can do it like that. And also just the routing, how you go, like, since all of the sectors are like interconnected with each other, there's like a few different ways you can go about it. Like where do you start and where do you stop, like the route of like collecting everything. And the current route is very, very cool. It also ends at a very, very cool, like in a very cool way. But I don't want to spoil or anything, I'll get to that. So yeah, currently we're in Sector 3 here doing some collecting. Sector 3 has a bunch of like strats that require like speed booster, shine sparking. Coming up for the next item, for example, is one of those. Like right behind here, you have to destroy these blocks, then get a tiny bit of runway here, and then we do the longest vertical shine spark in the game. We shine spark all the way up here. Get this item. But instead of exiting on top, we just go back down because it's way faster like that. You can hear the very cool sound effects of the screw attack. Now let's see if I can do a kind of cool strat here. Nice. Very cool. Okay, missed the last jump, but other than that, you saw that I was kind of fast right there. So I was just charging a speed booster, and I was just continuously jumping, and I could have, sir, please. And I continually just jumped with the speed of the speed booster through the tiny lava pits. Also tiny optimizations like that. Saves another like 1.5 to 1 second maybe. You can see now the way back is way slower. Now I have to go back up this shaft here. Let's think. If I remember correctly, there should be 2 more items in this area, in Sector 3. Hopefully. Another shine spark that we're charging up here to go over this pit. So this here is the first one. There's some blocks. Wait, I need to charge up a shine spark. Forgot about. There we go. Oh wow, that was kind of close. Here's another energy tank, and there should be 1 item left. That is just also right around the corner here. There we go. Here's another connector. Okay, this should be the last item in Sector 3, hopefully. Check. 3 check marks. Perfect. Great. Good stuff. Good stuff. You love to see it. Now we're back in Sector 5. This is the cold sector. Well, not so cold anymore because Nightmare destroyed everything. There's not too many items in here, luckily. Most of the items were already collected here. Let's think 2 items. remaining? 3? I think 3. Oh, actually 4. So quickly open up this door so we can shine spark through here. Item number 1, destroy these blocks. Item number 2. Two more items. One should be in this room that we ran past like 2 times or so, but with the screw attack it's just ever so slightly faster. And this right here should be the last item of Sector 5. Another quick check. Item check. 3 check marks. Perfect. Absolutely awesome. Okay, 2 more to go. Well, technically 3, but we already got everything in Sector 4. So we only need to collect items in Sector 6 and Sector 2. Sector 6 is probably the one that has the most optimized strats, because I need to do a bunch of speed booster puzzles, and probably my least favorite item of the game is also here. That might take me a few tries because yeah, you'll see. Okay. So first one is behind these walls here. We have to do a tiny bit of a bomb puzzle. You have to place these bombs at the correct oops. I'm not sure if that's gonna at the correct spot, so these tiny platforms like raise, and you then can do a shine spark to destroy these blocks to get to this energy tank. That's pretty good. Now time to get out of here. Now we're gonna do the same thing into the other direction. Hopefully this is enough. Well, ever so slightly, not enough. There we go. This one here, casually, took me literally forever to figure out. But once you understand it, it's like pretty simple. So this is the first one. There's another item below us. There's 2 in the same room. There we go. Easy peasy. There's like 2 or 3 items left in this area, hopefully. Unless I forget something, which hopefully I don't, because so far it's been going pretty good with remembering. So we're back in Sector 6, and we're now going back to the secret lab, if you remember. But the secret lab was like ejected. But there's still a tiny part here. So there's a... The secret lab is like connected to Sector 1 with like sort of an elevator. So let's see if I can do this. Okay, there we go. If I shine spark just straight up, that would be really bad. That would lose me like 2 minutes, because then I can't go back. It's like a one-way ticket. So you have to do this rather precise jump to break the speed boost blocks with just a normal spin attack instead of like a full-on shine spark. Okay. I think 1 more item left. 2 more. 2 more. So quickly laying a power bomb here as to set up. This one here pretty easy. Okay, coming up is my least favorite item of the game, because you can see some crumble blocks here. So there's like a 1 frame kind of thing. If I press the jump button at the same time, I... no, I just... There we go. Come on, no! No! That was kind of it, but I forgot to grab the ledge. Oops. So I need to unmorph on one of these crumble blocks, jump. This might take a moment. This is either like first try or get stuck for half an eternity. There we go. Hate this trick. Alright, and I do believe that was the last item. Yes, 3 check marks. Perfect. Oof. Tiny anxiety moment right here. Because if I would have not had all the items, I would have not been sure what I would have forgotten. But we have everything in Sector 6. So now we go back to Sector 4, which we already have everything, but we just quickly need to traverse it as a shortcut. And then there's just Sector 2 left. A few items to pick up in Sector 2, and then we can go to the final boss of the game. So here we go. Sector 4. You will see we'll be spending a very, very short amount of time in Sector 4 here. And we're already out. Sector 2. Okay, Sector 2 also has a few, let's just say, annoying items. The 2 that are coming up next, those are probably some of the hardest ones that for like my casual playthrough as a kid. Like, this room looks fine, but everything in here is a crumble block. So you need to jump all around here without touching the ground. This is like floor is lava, the room. Yeah, there you can see. I touched the ground and I fell through it. There we go. There we go. As a kid, this used to take forever, because the rhythm of your jumps is somewhat precise. So let's just hope we're not forgetting any item in Sector 2 here, and then we should be golden for 100%. There's like 2, 3, 4 items left, I believe. 4 or 5. There's this item in this room that I could have gotten basically at the start of the game, but now with all of our abilities, it's once again just ever so slightly faster. And it's not like we're starved for most of our items. Oh yeah, I forgot about this room. There's another item in here. Yeah, this is also a crumble block room, but there was like somewhat of a safe strat here. You just have to freeze these 2 rippers next to each other and you can just morph ball through. Oops. Come on. There we go. Alright, then we got the fish tank here. These are also 2 items that you could have gotten basically the first time you go in here, but it would have been quite a bit slower. Alright. Now, if memory serves correctly, there should be 2 more items in Sector 2. Then we can exit and go to the final boss. Time is a bit sketchy. Might be a tiny bit overestimate. Guess we'll have to see. 7 minutes? I guess we'll have to see. So the last 2 items of Sector 2 are hidden behind the boss of Sector 2. Remember one of the first bosses that we fought, the tall, lanky worm creature here in this room? Yeah, there's 2 Shine Spark puzzle items in this room. This is also one of the rooms that, as a kid, like took forever for me. All these Shine Spark puzzles as a kid, they felt impossible. But now they're not too difficult anymore. Boop. And now this one, I'm not exactly sure if you are supposed to get this item like how I'm about to. Okay, nope, that was a misclick, thanks. Great, cool, 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 cool. There we go. Not sure if this is the intended way how to get this, but yeah. So this should have been the last item, right? Yep, nice, perfect. So there is exactly one more item in the game that we need to pick up, and that is on the main area, on the what's it called again? The main floor that connects all the sectors to each other, and then we have all 100 items. So, and now this is the cool part about that I really like about this routing. So we are gonna exit the cleanup via the reactor room, which I personally really enjoy. I'm pretty sure this is like not exactly... I mean, I'm pretty sure 100% it doesn't have like a developer intended route, but I'm pretty sure this was not how it was imagined, that you go back here this way once. Here. And now we're basically at the start of the game here. We need to collect one more item. Then we go to talk to the computer for a last time. And he tells us how to finish the game. And then we are gonna do that. So here in this room right here, this is the last item of the game. Another power bomb tank that we totally don't need because this game has way too many power bomb tanks. And just a quick check. 2020, 48, 48, 32, 32. Nice, we got everything. 100% acquired. Now we go to the navigation room and have a rather lengthy dialogue section. Here we go. So here, a lot of stuff happens here now. Yeah, so Samus and the computer have a little bit of an argument right now. Because they have like different opinions on how we should proceed. Because the SAX is very dangerous and the X-Parasites in general is very dangerous and should just be eradicated. And the computer is like, no, we need the X to like research them for like military and like social economic purposes and whatever. And Samus is like, what are you talking about? This is like the most dangerous being in the existence. You don't know what you're dealing with. They need to be eradicated right now. And they're having a little bit of a argument here. And still to this day, I'm not exactly sure what this here is supposed to be. I think Samus has some kind of internal dialogue with herself or something. Not exactly sure. So we got like locked in this room, so we need to talk to the computer again. Like, open the hatch. Computer is telling us no. He has the order to lock us in here until like the Federation arrives, the space police, and they will handle it. And Samus is like, what the hell are you doing? This, like, I'm the only one who can do this. Open the door. Let me finish this. And now here's like the plot twist of the game that I don't want to spoil because I didn't set up for it, so it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. But we basically get the go from the computer now after some arguments that we can just blow up the space station. Any objections, lady? That line hits every time. All right, yeah, so we got our final orders to activate the self-destruction of the space station, and as soon as we activate that, we need to leave the space station before we die with it. And here's now the final encounter with the SAX. And I'm very much aware that what I'm doing right now is a slow strat, but because it's 100%, I can do this. And this is just so silly. I can just stand here and tank everything. Because I collected all of the health, I can just stand, turn around, and hit the SAX all the time. I just like showing this off. For being such a menacingly frightening villain, if you have all energy tanks, you can just stand and tank. And then after the first phase, it turns into this thing here. And obviously, then finally, there's like this X-Core, which has the Ice Beam. And the Ice Beam will be our final upgrade, right? Surely. By now, we've upgraded enough that we can surely get the Ice Beam. There we go. I think one more. There we go. And now it's time to get the Ice Beam. Wait, it's flying away. What is this? Wait, I got scammed. What the hell? Where's my Ice Beam? Okay, I guess I'm not gonna get an Ice Beam then. Any cat jams? This music is great. Alright, now we have 3 minutes to leave the space station before it like crashes with the planet. And yeah, 3 minutes sounds enough to just go back to our ship, right? I'm sure nothing bad will happen from here on our way to the ship. I'm sure we can just go back into the ship, fly away. It's all gonna be fine. I cannot imagine what could possibly go wrong. In the meantime, just jammers. This is probably my favorite track of the game. Alright, we're almost at the ship. So, yep, time's coming up in a moment. And wait, what? What is this? Where's my ship? What is this? Hello? Hi? Okay, 1 HP, sorry, what? What's going on? I can't move, hello? Hey, there's my Ice Beam. Oh great, it's the SAX. Wait, what is happening? Whoa. It's fighting the Omega Metroid. What's happening? This is intense. Okay, full HP. Now I have the Ice Beam. Ah, nice. Yeah. This is the actual final boss of the game, the Omega Metroid. That we actually can only defeat with the Ice Beam. I'm not sure why our suit also turned orange. We don't get a suit... Wow, really? Are you sure? There we go. Yay! As I said, surely there is nothing that is gonna go wrong. That we can go to our ship. So yeah, I'm not sure why... I still to this day don't know why our suit changes to orange when we pick up the Ice Beam. Because we still have the same suit. Yeah, now there's some final dialogue. Right now there's another tiny plot twist where it basically says like how did the ship at the very end fly in, because the ship doesn't have an autopilot, so somebody must have flew the ship inside the bay. And I actually don't want to spoil who it is because we'll get to see who it was in just a moment here. And yeah. That's mostly it. Like normally when I do a 100% run, I'll watch through the credits, and then at the very end there's like it says how much time I needed and how many items I collected. But because of the map area, I'm like we saw that I collected 100%. Like So we technically don't need to watch it, and because I would tiny bit overestimate, I'm pretty sure we're gonna cut that, but I still want to show you real quick what actually saved our lives here. So yeah, right now we have this tiny dialogue where Samus is wondering, how did you, like, computer, how did you get the ship into the thing? This ship doesn't have an autopilot. Who flew the ship? And here we go. Can we get some awes? Aww. It's the animals we saved earlier. Those are actually the same animals that you save in Super Metroid, and that is exactly why you save the animals in Super Metroid. Okay, that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Metroid Fusion 100% run. Thanks SpeedCon for having this again. Like I said, last time I ran this was 4 years ago. So that's pretty awesome that I got a chance to have this run at the marathon again. And yeah, this was my last run. There's still a tiny bit of SpeedCon left. We're still trying to reach that $1,000 mark at the end of the event in a few hours, and 4 or 5 hours or so. So please get your money in, your donations in, and yeah, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday, and please enjoy the rest of the marathon.